Yeah.
Okay, friend.
I checked. Why?
Don't fall to come back.
Yeah, what if you have?
Yeah, I don't There he is. I know you didn't go far, but here you are. All right, now that you're back, it is 7:13. We will reconvene our meeting. Up next, we have a citizen communication to remind you that these are for items not otherwise listed for public hearing. So anything else of those two things? And I do have a couple of cards here. Alex Hamblin, do you wish to speak on something other than the public hearing?
Yes.
Where are you? There you are. Okay. Come up. Why don't you come on up
Oh, sure.
so we can.
Come on down.
All right. And as a reminder, again, this is for something other than public hearings, and we ask that you limit your comments to 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Yes, sir. So that we have a lot of people who want to talk in public comments. So we
Okay, no, just real quick, there's a couple things that I like to talk about. One's our water rates. When I look at our water rates versus the water rates in the cities near us or with the water companies, our water rates are 35% higher than other people. I did a comparison today on my water rate to Walnut Creek. If I would have been on Walnut Creek, I'd been $118. I was in the city of Paradise, supposedly, and I'm at $160. And so there's a big difference in water rates.
Okay.
The other thing is, we're talking about, this is kind of about taxes, but I know it's separate. If we do pay city taxes, there's no exemption for city taxes. Is that true? So when I look at the exemption, when I go on the county website and I look at exemptions, so for Wise County, my house is $485,000, and I get $107,000 exemption, but I'm looking at having to start paying Paradise City tax. But according to the county, there's no exemption for seniors or for homestead. I'll just have to pay tax on $485,000. Those are my two concerns.
I mean, I would have to look into these, but I'm pretty sure that we don't set the exemption rates for property taxes. That comes from the state legislature. They set the homestead exemptions and what that all can be applied to. I know they're back in special session to work on that too.
Right. Yeah, and the other thing is, my concern is seniors in our city. As we try to grow, it's going to cost a lot of money, and we're going to be charging the seniors. If there's no exemptions, the seniors are going to get hit hard on fixed incomes, and so that's something that I really would like to address with the city going forward. It's great to build a new water tank, but a lot of these people are on fixed incomes.
right,
Thank you.
thank you for your comments. Okay, I also have a Shannon Hickman.
Right here, most of it's about stuff that's gonna be coming.
The public hearing?
Yes,
All right, so I'm gonna put you in the public hearing stack.
yes.
Okay. Did you have something? You had,
You turned to me?
yes, because you had raised your hand earlier and I said we can come back to you as citizen comments, so I'm coming back to you.
I just had a quick question regarding the INS interest, or the INS.
Interest in sinking tax rate?
It sounds great that as the loan goes down, so would the tax rate. Does that actually really happen in other cities that use that?
I'll have to defer, since Paradise has never had an INS tax rate. And so, and he can go into it further, but what we understand is the INS tax rate is only there to service your annual tax, or your debt, your annual debt payment. And so as the property values go up, that rate can go down.
Right, but does that actually ever happen?
And would you share your name for the record?
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, Jennifer Hickman.
Jennifer Hickman, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
The answer to that is yes, because the INS rate can only be high enough to service the loan, and as the principal on the loan shrinks, necessarily the amount remaining shrinks, and so the ceiling on the loan on the tax rate does reduce over time. If you look at other cities, you may see some variability in their INS tax rate, and that might be because they have multiple debt issuances.
So in theory, that tax rate would go down and eventually go to zero?
Mathematically,
Yeah. Right?
each individual instance would reduce steadily over time. And so if you look at a big city, if you look at Fort Worth, they'll have their 2022 debt issuance A, and their 2024 issuance F, and they're issuing debt multiple times a year. And so their INS rate is all over the place because they're always issuing new debt. But if you look at just the line item, if you just stick with 2022A, over time, that debt issuance always shrinks.
I think what she's asking is if there's only one debt, does that eventually go to zero when the debt's paid off?
Our
It's-
tax is actually gonna go down?
Yes, ma'am. So the INS tax rate can only be as high as the debt. Once the debt is paid off, there's no more debt to pay. There is no INS tax rate.
So that's one specific debt, not something that you can stack on later as a city decides that they want to pay for something else.
I think you can take on multiple instances of debt.
Right, so my
Consider
point is,
asking
if your debt
anybody
is
who wants to make a
$200,000
comment to come
over
up and say
time,
their name.
Hey,
$100,000
sir, I'm sorry, we want to hear from you, but will you come up and tell us who you are?
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm John Davidson. My question was that if your original debt's $200,000 and over time you've paid off $100,000,
Mhm.
what's to prevent the city from saying, okay, well, we paid off half of it, we want to stack another $100,000 on it and continue to use that initial tax, what do you call it?
The INS tax rate.
Tax rate and continue to have us pay for that because you keep stacking on it. It could never go down potentially.
That is, okay, so one important thing to understand is that the city is always empowered to issue debt. So whether or not any debt was ever issued for this particular project, it could always happen that the city could issue debt. And so the situation that you're describing is very possible. You issue debt once, and then in a couple of years you issue another debt, and then in a couple of years you issue another debt. And that is possible. That could happen.
A lot of times that's how schools get built.
So
They
theoretically,
build the school, and then when that bond is getting paid off, they're like, hey, we need another school. So your taxes aren't gonna change, but you're gonna get another school.
right, well,
Just
that's what drives my question. Her question was, is the tax ever gonna go down? Theoretically, probably not, because you're just gonna stack on as we pay off, and the tax rate's gonna stay the same.
That's a decision for whoever the council is at that time.
Future councils and future year and future projects. Okay. Is there anyone else? For something other than the public hearing?
Is the public hearing about zoning?
The public hearings are the zoning ones, yes.
Okay, good.
So we're not there yet, though. No, hold on, this is anything but a public hearing. Anything else? Okay, hearing no more, we will close citizen comment.
Ma'am?
Continue.
Going into the consent items, there are 4 consent items for your consideration tonight. The first one is just the approval for the meeting minutes from the last meeting. The second one is to go ahead and pass the ordinance calling for the election in November for city mayor and council places 4 and 5. The third item is a resolution to adopt the failure to appear program for the municipal court. And the fourth item is the resolution to adopt the scofflaw program for the municipal court.
I propose that we go ahead and approve the consent agenda as written.
All right, motion is second to approve the consent agenda. All in favor? Hands, passes unanimously.
Ma'am, going into the deliberation agenda, the first item that we have is a decision upon the proposed Encore rate increase. The recommendation from the Encore representative was to go ahead and deny that rate increase. That is y'all's decision.
Do you need a motion?
Yes.
Yeah, I make a motion, we go ahead and approve it. Deny.
Approve the denial.
That's right, approve the denial, sir.
A motion to deny the Encore rate increase is seconded. All in favor? Passes unanimously. All right.
Ma'am, moving on to our next deliberation item. This is the public hearing for the Brian Turner request for the sand plant behind Thistle Circle.
All right, I'm going to open the public hearing for the rezoning Crest sand plant behind Thistle Circle. I have a few cards up here, so let's go through these and then I will check again with everyone up there. I have well, this one doesn't say speak. Is John Richards, are you here for the sand plant or Windmill Ridge?
Windmill.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's where I know you're here. Pamela Green.
So Alicia, I'm Pamela Green, 110 Thistle Circle here in Paradise. And Mayor and Council, I appreciate the opportunity to come and address you again tonight. Wanted to give you a quick update. 2 weeks ago, the city administrator, Chance, was kind enough to arrange for a one-on-one meeting, if you will, with Mr. Turner and his staff. And we had a meeting here in Town Hall, and a few residents attended that wanted to come and have that discussion. And excuse me, it was we appreciated the meeting very much. Had a great discussion, and were impressed with the openness and the ability to sit down and talk and to answer questions. And our goal has always been to find out more information about the project and what the future could look like. Our property is the 8 acres on Thistle Circle that has the east-west entrance that's being used currently. And so we looked at some of the maps, we talked about traffic and noise and dust, and appreciated some of the answers. Our concern continues to be that this traffic route that's proposed now, where the traffic would all enter and exit north-south, helps us a bunch and takes care of our problem, but it doesn't take care of our neighbors' problems and other people in that area. And you know, we are concerned about the entire area, not just being selfish with our own property. The core of our discussion 2 weeks ago had to do with you know, future plans, what's the growth, what is the operation level that's happening now, and how much of a trajectory does that have, which was explained to us as very much based on the market for their sand and for what construction's going on and what Mr. Turner's additional businesses need for their concrete need. It would be appreciated to see some numbers on that. Is what's happening today 10% of their operation that they think will be projected, and I know it has to be based on a projection. There's no hardcore guarantee what those businesses are going to do, but I think projections are good information. We had a lot of conversation about being good neighbors, and we appreciate very much that Mr. Turner and his family are in this area and are concerned, but we also still have the concern that for the last 6 months, they have been operating in non-compliance, and our limited experience with them is based on this. So how do you meet somebody and take them at their word when for the last 6 months you've been witnessing that they have been out of compliance and operating in the wrong. Again, we want to be good neighbors as well, and we want the community to thrive from any additional businesses that come to the area. But even last week, there is some concerns with the levels of noise, the levels of activity going on, and we reached out, and the conversation wasn't 100% a positive conversation. It was there was an element of, well, would you rather just have the 400 houses back there because that's what we'll do, and that was hopefully just a bad day. Hopefully we caught somebody when they were very busy and had more important things on their mind. But that was the first interaction of, hey, call us anytime and let us know what's going on. We want to be your good neighbor. I'm not trying to bash anybody. I just am asking the council to please take into account smart growth and what your community is interested in, what takes care of the stewards, the land, and we sure would love and would rather see a whole herd of cattle standing out there. If we had to pick, it's a really tough, we bought our property based on the fact that 100 acres was agriculture and zoned that way, and we researched it before we came to the table with our realtors. So again, we're asking that you take the time to understand the entirety of the situation and make a decision based on input from the community. And we appreciate that you're willing to listen to us, and we appreciate Mr. Turner and Ron that you're willing to talk with us. We want that olive branch, and we hope that if it is approved, you will continue to do good things for the community, and we'll continue to be good neighbors as well. But I think the main concerns come down to traffic, noise, dust, and hours of operation. And I think that there would be some contingencies that if this is voted in August as approved, that we would like to sit down and meet with the city to talk about how those could be written. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, Shannon Hickman, you're for the same, this one, right?
No.
The sand plant, not the sand plant.
Not the same one.
Not the sand plant. I gotta make notes on here. Okay. Is there anyone else who wishes to address the council during the public hearing for the sand plant rezoning?
I just have a question really now.
Please stand up
I'm
and,
Julian Richards. I too am concerned about the dust just because we live in the area and I drive through Chico every day, so I'm very familiar with the dust that's created from those plant areas over there. But what happens when this area is fully mined? What does it turn into after that's done? How long does that take? I have no conception of time for that, for digging up all of that sand. And then what fills that void when it's done?
okay,
Those are just my questions I'd like you to consider.
sand plant hearing. Anyone else? Please introduce yourself.
My name is Brian Hedlund. So I know there's a green area there. I just want to know what's going to go in that green area. Is it piles of sand or equipment or what? The buffer between the city and on that property there?
The blue buffer?
Yes, ma'am.
What goes in the blue buffer?
Yes, ma'am. And then also, if you go out Thistle, that road is very narrow. I don't know what safety concerns you guys have, but if you take my truck and a 20-foot trailer, you can't make a left or a right without
Taking out my fence.
taking out a fence or coming into oncoming traffic. And as you guys know, we hired an officer to slow everybody down. You guys think it's bad here. Coming in on our road, they're going 60, 70 miles both ways.
45 people, 25.
It just doesn't happen. So the safety concern's a big thing, but the dust, Ed here, they're just being super nice because they're really good people. The dust is horrendous. Jesse that lives in that back right on the property line, he's got half an inch of dirt in his pool. I live up on the road and I got dirt in my pool. You should have dirt in your pool. It's being mined today. You can say what you want, but it's being mined today. And they say, oh, it's not, but doing something with it. I mean, there's trucks running out of there every day right now. The dust is, all the trees, all the green trees are just covered in dust. So is it good quality of life, especially for Ed and them right there along that? It's terrible. Get $1 million+ house and then the city boats it out? Come on. That's terrible. It's bad business. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? For Sand Plant? Just wanna make sure we're on Sand Plant still.
Yeah.
All right. Please introduce yourself.
I'm Cynthia Tingley, and I live at 1599 3259, which is, this Thistle Court circles our property completely.
You're in the Thistle
Yeah.
Triangle.
So right now, we're going through this, the north and, east and west, having to deal with them. I stay home and I'm blessed to be able to stay home and keep my granddaughter. I see what comes in and out there all day long. It's the noise. I mean, they're taking out sand by the truckloads right now. The joke around the house is they're digging to China. And it's just, if you reroute that, that's gonna have them go straight out right by my pasture where my cows and my horses are. Also, my concern is we don't know the quality of people they have coming in and out of there. I've thought this since we've lived there. There's been sketchy stuff going back there. Are there people that they hire bonded? I mean, who are they hiring? Who, my granddaughter, I can't allow, if I got truck drivers coming in and out, I can't allow her to go and play on the tire swing that's in my front yard. Not without keeping an eye on them. That's one of the reasons we moved out of the city. We lived in Irving. I used to come here, go to Bridgeport with my daddy growing up. So it's a huge concern for us. So,
Thank you. All right. There was another one. I saw another hand. Sand Plant. Please come up and introduce yourself.
My name is Doug Staley. I live right there on 3259, right in front of the Pecan Orchard. Everybody's talking about digging the sand and everything out of there, and which is a mess, but nobody's talking about the depth of your water table. And Mr. Lewis used to live right there. He built my house and stuff, and he used to drill wells. And he told me anything north of the highway here is only 60, right here 114.
Okay.
North of it, right where I live at. He said anything on the north side of there, in this area, the wells are 60 to 90 foot deep. And anything deeper than that, salt water. And so unless you case and drill and case and drill, you're gonna hit salt water. And right there on that curve, they drilled a gas rig right there one time. And it's been a while, about 15 years ago, but they drilled through there, they disturbed that water table, and all my water lines and stuff in the house, everything stopped up, backed up. I had no water at all, and I had to back flush everything. So I'm concerned about the water level stuff there. I've got city water, but I've also got a well for my cows and animals and stuff. So I'm concerned about that depth, them mining that deep, disturbing that level, that water table at that level. Not to mention the dust and everything that's gonna come, because this last weekend, sitting there and it's just a fog and stuff, so be considerate of being in the city area here and all that dust. So, thank you.
All right, anyone else for Sand Plant? Okay, Mr. Turner, do you have any comments to address any of the concerns you've heard? Right now, are you gonna think about it a little bit and get back to us?
To the council or
Yes, sir.
probably later?
This is the public hearing.
Yeah, this is the.
I mean, as far as the noise, I believe the city has a 75 decibel limit. When we checked it today, we were at 54 decibels. And that was right at the equipment, not at the property lines where it's typically measured in a construction area like this. So we're on the noise side of it, we're below what the city has for a minimum for what we could find. As far as the dust control, full intentions to water and keep the dust down. We have to do that at our other locations already. That's not an issue to that. And that's that. Like I said, we're here to be good neighbors, and we'll do what we need to be good neighbors to coexist.
And there was a question about anything being stored inside the blue buffer. I mean, I know you've got the gas well, that's not yours, but
As it is.
leave as is with
Yeah, so
trees.
if it's grass stays there.
We don't do anything, it's
Trees.
just let it grow to the moon.
That's to create a barrier to not have an eyesore, to catch what dust there may be. I mean, it's just to create a barrier. And what we're doing is we're going away from the houses. So the longer it goes, we're going to the right, as quick as we can. So the longer we're there, the further away we get. As far as the depth, we'll never get anywhere close to the 90 feet or
50 to 60 foot.
How deep do you say you'll go?
50 to 60.
50 to 60?
It takes years, these don't pop up overnight.
No, it's close enough.
Okay. All right. Anyone else for sand plant public hearing? All right, hearing none, the hearing is closed. Thank you all who spoke, appreciate it.
Pardon me while I operate the computer from over here. The next item is the rezoning for Windmill Ridge.
All right, at this time, we will open the public hearing for the rezoning request for Windmill Ridge. I have a few cards up here. Shannon, now, seriously, you can come up now. Please introduce yourself for the record.
My name's Shannon Hickman. There's been several things that I've heard tonight that concern me. One is the y'all annexing this area in 2020, if my understanding is correct. In order for a city to annex land, there must be a vote. I'm pretty sure we all know that there was no vote in 2020 due to COVID.
It was annexed when it was still raw land. The developer came to the city and requested annexation. So the property owner at the time, who was the developer, said, we would like city services, and requested annexation. So that may answer that question.
Partially.
Okay.
Oh, there's also the fact of, I'm trying to think of how to put this nicely. The fact that that Paradise is a city in and of itself. I was here for a long time prior to it being a city, and once it became a city. Now, my understanding, in order for it to become a city, Paradise must have 50 registered voters from inside the city limits, file a petition with the county judge, at which point in time, if the judge approves it, it goes to the state, and then there is a vote. That vote has to have at minimum 50% of the population in order to create the city of Paradise. My problem is there was never a vote. I was here in that time frame. I was here up until 2005. I owned a house right down the road here, and that there was never a vote to actually create the city of Paradise. Another problem I have is the fact that the city of Paradise was created in order to create water services. Water services, it was created in order to get the state grant to drill a water well. The water well, as I was informed earlier, was capped a couple of years ago. Now,
the old water well that was supplying Old Town. That's why the state, I think it was TCEQ, came in and said, this is not a viable water well for public consumption. And the city was formed so that they get debt to put in the water system, which is fed by Walnut Creek, which we're within that special utility district. So we're limited to buying.
You have a lot of historical questions, and we'll be happy to get with you and answer those. But this public hearing specifically to Windmill and Windmill Ranch.
Windmill, when y'all annexed Windmill to the builder's request, I'm presuming, it comes down, what it all comes down to, and my entire reason I'm here is comes down to taxes. Y'all are wanting to go ahead and rezone this and make this residential area, which is going to turn around and put somewhere between $1,500 and $2,000 in taxes, property taxes, on every owner in that area in Windmill Trail. When realistically, Paradise isn't a city. And that's just the base of it.
Okay, so what we can do is, if you want to get with us later, we can review the historical record and the minutes that go over the formation of the city and all of that, and maybe we can answer some of those questions for you.
And I know the people that were here. One of them I actually called Aunt Pauline because at that time she was my aunt. And I know how and why the city was created. And I do not believe that the city of Paradise is actually a viable institution.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have your contact information, Mr. Hickman?
I'll get to you as soon as we get out of here.
If you would, please, so we can follow up. I appreciate it. Thank you. Okay. Mr. Meltzer. There you go, Don. Now you're up. Please introduce yourself for the record.
Don Meltzer, and I live in the bottom left-hand corner there. Like Shannon, I'm very concerned about taxes. And if I go to that source of all truth and information, the internet, it tells me that in Texas, property taxes for residential properties are generally higher than for agricultural properties, primarily due to special valuation methods available for agricultural land. Well, I bought that property at a certain tax rate. So did everybody else who bought those little boxes up there. And frankly, to find out now, when it's too late, that those tax rates were based on a situation that should not have existed is, to me, not ethical. And if anything, the government should be is ethical. So I would like the city to figure out what they're going to do about that. And it shouldn't be shrugging their shoulders, saying nothing we can do about it. That won't be appreciated. Second point, I spent my career, or at least the second half of it, fixing things, big companies. And one thing we learned very early on was called continuous improvement, then it became called Six Sigma, then it became lean manufacturing. But what it all was about was never let the opportunity for failure to go to waste. That when something goes wrong, the most important thing is to find out why, so that you can make sure it never happens again. And not to be disrespectful, but a comment like, well, it was COVID, that's not an answer. The system failed. Something was supposed to happen by law, and it didn't happen. It just didn't happen. And now here we're stuck with people who bought houses expecting a certain set of conditions. Now we find out, sorry, those aren't the conditions. So we need to understand what failed so that it doesn't ever fail again. So that the next 250 families that move into the city find out what they're going to be paying for to move into the city. The law doesn't protect buyers, it protects sellers, let's be honest. The developers and the builders get one set of tax rates while they're building. And then 2 years later, the buyer gets a different set of tax rates. That's just the way it works. Don't have to like it, but I know it's true. The city shouldn't put up with that. The city should say, we're not going to accept deceptive practices that are built into the state's way of doing things. And I hope that this council stands up for the new residents like they stand up for the old. Thank you. Have a great evening.
All right, Mr. Richards.
Hey, I'm John Richards, my wife Jillian. We live on Stewart Street. We were fortunate enough, I guess, 3.5 years ago. I think we're the first residents in that area in Windmill Ridge. My first question is, or maybe my only question, the rezoning that's taking place is only within that boundary, correct? It's not to the rest of the outline boxes or across the street of Old Town Road or to the east or west. We're talking about specifically inside that, correct?
Yes.
Okay, just those, okay.
Because to either side are outside city limits, and across Old Town is already R1.
Okay. My second question would be, I read on the, did you have a chance?
Yes.
Yeah. So I read that it said that agricultural properties were defined as 2 acres or more. In your slide you had.
Our zoning ordinance says that residences can be built on 2 acres of agricultural land.
Okay, and so there are plots in here that are bigger than 1 acre. Most of these are like, 0.77, under an acre, maybe an acre. These are like, my understanding, larger than that. So some of this within here is going to be considered agricultural land. We bought our house, built our house, as this fine gentleman was saying, under the pretense of a certain tax rate. And if COVID caused a lot of things during 2020, I didn't really appreciate the excuse that that happened as well, or the ambiguity. There is no ambiguity when it's zoned a certain way. We bought under the pretense knowing what the tax rate would be, and I think everyone in here did as well. And it's really cool to see our neighbors out kind of tonight, asking these questions. But the gentleman before me said he wants the council to figure this out. I would say, is there a way that we can be grandfathered in and keep our existing tax code zone as agricultural? That would be something maybe to perhaps consider, since the goof up happened 4 years ago, and maybe there's different people on the council. I don't know. I don't care. But there's probably a way to annex that in, particularly given the fact that there are larger parcels within this development. And I appreciate y'all's time.
Is there anyone else for the Windmill Ridge? sir, please stand up and remind us who you are. Piece of paper.
Again, I'm Alan Hamill. I live in Windmill Ridge, and I've not paid city taxes for 2 years. I went to the county when I bought that place. When I went to buy it, I go to the county, and I say to the county, am I in the city of Paradise? They said, no, you're not in the city of Paradise. You're in the county, right? So when I come to the city to sign up for water, and the nice lady at the city said, well, you're in the city. I went back to the county, and the county said, are you paying taxes in the city? I said, no, ma'am. Then you're not in the city. So there's more than just one mistake been made. I mean, why is it that I'm not paying city taxes? If you're saying I'm in the city, I went to build a shop, and y'all sent an inspector out and gave me city rules to build my shop. I wasn't in the city, according to the county. So I didn't get a 30 by 40 shop. I got a 24 by 40 shop. What I want to know is, and what I think we should be able to see is the document that shows us that the developer gave you this land. Because if he did, then why doesn't the county know we're in the city?
Yep, that's the point of failure.
Thank you.
We can do that if anyone would like to request a copy of the ordinance annexing in that property. Please email the city secretary and we can get that to you. We can certainly do that. Anybody else for Windmill Ridge? Yes. Again, remind us your name.
Jennifer Hickman.
Thank you.
Windmill, obviously. I heard some things tonight that were a little concerning. Like if my house catches on fire, it's gonna burn down, it sounds like, because it sounds like there's not enough water. And what I'm hearing is that if we get rezoned as residential, our taxes are gonna go up. I mean, we did buy our house and it specifically said on the listing, no city taxes. That was a big issue to not have to pay city taxes. But now I'm hearing that basically you wanna raise our taxes, and what services are we getting out of it? Because it doesn't sound like there's gonna be enough water if my house catches on fire. So.
Especially if people popping off fireworks in the neighborhood.
That's a whole nother thing, but, so, yeah, I would love to have us grandfathered in or something at our current tax rate, because, yeah, every one of us bought our house thinking that we were not gonna have to pay city taxes. And that was a consideration when, I'm sure when all of us were buying our homes, so. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay. Anyone else for the Windmill Ridge rezoning? Oh, you want to come back?
Yes, ma'am.
Part 2, all right. Part 3, yeah. Part 3 for you.
Well, I have to tell you, it's big money. It's 25% of my tax is going up 25%. My water is up 35%. If I was on Walnut Creek Water Company, I would be down 35%. Right? I'll be 70 years old next year.
You know, you're the only person who's come to me and told me that.
Well, you know what business we have? We have a backflow business. So we go around and do backflows all over all these different cities we work, and we know what the rates are. And so,
I don't have to call James.
yeah, well, yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah.
Anyway, and that's one other issue why I'm up here. When as a small business, when I go to Springtown to do a backflow test, the city of Springtown charges me $16.95 as a backflow specialist. When I go in Walnut Creek, it's $15.95. Someplace I go, it's nothing. But when I do a backflow test in the city of Paradise, it's $34.05. It's double the money. So what has to happen, either I have to absorb that cost, or I have to add it to my neighbors, because I do a lot of backflows in Paradise. I think we have 87. And that's also another, it's off the topic, but I thought I'd bring it up.
Thank you. I'm making a note.
Thank you.
All right. Specifically, Windmill Ridge.
I'll go. Okay. Jillian Richards again. I know we had some older members of our community mention the elderly and the concerns with raising taxes specifically in Windmill Ridge. But my husband and I, we're not that old either. We're not close to retire. Well, he's closer than I am, but.
You're right under that bus.
But we're both educators. So we can't really take on a tax hike either. And the amount that's being proposed is something that we were not prepared for when we moved out here to work as educators in these communities. And so we just need you to take into consideration, these are not just houses, these are not just numbers, they're not just blocks. These are people, and there's a lot more people in there than what's in this photograph right now as well.
Windmill Ridge, I saw another hand go up. Please come up and introduce
I live in
yourself.
Windmill Ridge, Frank Salerno. Just a couple of things. We said 2020, the developer handed it over to the city, and you're going to provide us that documentation.
Please email city secretary.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yep.
So we got 2020, and then I think you said you were the first home. 21, right? So that first home was built in 21. So let's talk about the failures here, right? The failure of when the developer handed it to the city, there was a failure to rezone it then. And somewhere there's a failure from when the builders bought the land from the developer. They had to go to the city of some sort, right? So we had a failure of the right taxation zoning then, right? And now we're 4 years since the first house was built, and we're just now finding it? So the other challenge with that is, what type of legal ramifications do all of us have, or does the city play in this? That we may be on land that's not even correct or proper, or even should have been the builder's land, because he bought it on the pretense, all the different builders. So there could be legal ramifications for the city, us as home buyers, the developer, and all the builders, because all of it was bought incorrectly, falsely zoned. So how's the city going to fix that? So, that could be a huge thing. City doesn't have enough money to buy a water tower.
For my clarification, all of you who purchased property out there in Windmill Ridge were specifically told you were not inside city.
Absolutely, 100%. Every single one of us. It's even on the listings. I think we can go back and look at the listings.
They said the county line's right here. That's the county line.
And remember,
And your builders told you were not inside city.
absolutely.
I went to the county.
Our builder was the developer, so.
In the county.
And also remember, our city sign, even,
They knew it was in city limits because they came to the city for permitting.
well, now this is what I'm saying. Y'all permitted
Yeah.
land, but you permitted land on zoned agriculture. You knew at that time it was agriculture and you didn't change it 4 years ago. Y'all were aware of it then, or whoever the city council was aware that the land was incorrectly zoned 4 years ago. Why are we, and we were just told by you that it came to our attention a month ago. I'm having a hard time believing that there's 50 lots that were sold and came to you guys, and y'all just now catching that it's zoned incorrectly? That seems a little odd to me. So I think Mr. Richard has the best situation for this particular tract of land. It's almost built out. I don't know how many more lots there are, probably 10. Under 10 lots left. We have to be grandfathered. There's no other choice by the city because there's too many failures in the pipeline for us to be on the hook for additional taxes because too many people made a mistake,
So would you
not
say-
us.
Would you say grandfathered in?
As ag.
But phased in?
No.
Because you will be receiving city services, the roads, the water operator that comes down there. I mean, there's a lot of services that are, the police. Would we draw a line right there where the police wouldn't go into your area?
No, the sheriff would come in our area, right? That's what we get now. We don't have a police in our area right now. We have 1 hour a week Boyd that's going to sit right there and catch.
We're gonna have 20 hours with the sheriff once we pay for
Be
it.
writing tickets too, so that'd be about to keep your money.
Well, that may be able to pay for our water tower. Well, I mean, I think you have to think about keeping it grandfather, because there's no reason that we bought those down. What could be done is the 10 lots that are still there, those lots that are paid for, you can do something different there. Because you're already making an exception for the 2-acre lots that are there already. I don't know if you can, I don't think you can zone things differently, but you can probably, I mean, we've already messed this up enough. We can probably figure out a way that anybody that buys a house, or as some of us die off and we sell those houses, you can, because we're all old, we can probably move it into some kind of jurisdiction like that. I'm not the legal expert on it, but I just know that there's a lot of failures in this pipeline, and the city is up for a huge lawsuit, and we can't afford that. I want y'all to consider the grandfather then. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Can I piggyback one thing on that? I don't have to stand up. Those houses aren't selling. And if you add that to it, they're not gonna sell for even a longer period of time. We've got 4 houses for sale on our street.
Most of them are rentals, all of them are.
Some of them have been bought by foreign entities because they couldn't sell, and so they're now foreign entity-owned rentals. Like it's creating a big problem in a small town that you don't want.
Can I make one?
Mr. Meltzer.
The council should table this and get a lawyer and find out, have the lawyer find out what legal ramifications can flow from this, and then reconvene. Let us know what the legal counsel has said, and then we can decide, to either approve the rezoning or not, and we can decide whether or not we'll see you in court.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? All right, hearing none, the hearing is closed. Okay. Oh, that's it? We're done? I thought for sure we had something else on there. Nope, we're all done. That was the last one. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Having no other business to conduct, we are adjourned. Let us see. It is 8:03. Thank you, everyone, for coming.
Want to go back to the